Welcome to one of the stupidest videos I'll probably make. This is the CatSMP Hunger Games. Basically, I'm using a Hunger Games simulator to simulate CatSMP members and bots and memes of the CatSMP Discord, because I ran out of ideas for teams, to see who will win in a Hunger Games scenario. Let's begin. Gracie Gary stays at the cornucopia. Jungle runs away. Carlos gathers as much food as he can. Skull runs away. Neon runs away. Beady Bye rips a mace out of Larry's hands. Madame runs away. Chris runs away. Eric scares Murph away. Sophie finds a canteen full of water. Repeating gathers as much food as he can. Chat Reader grabs a jar of fishing bait while Carl gets fishing gear. Barry runs away. Chain kills Command as he tries to run. I set an explosive off, killing Buried in German. Jaden runs away. Clown runs away. The Overmind takes a spear. Imp grabs a shovel. Nighttime. Night number 1. Sophie and Repeating work together. No, it's day. I'm an idiot. Sophie and Repeating work together. The Overmind is pricked by thorns. Jaden receives an explosive. Madame scares Neon off. Eric tries to sleep through the entire day. Chris defeats me in a fight, but he spares my life. Thank you, Chris. Carl scares Jungle off. Murph, Carlos, Clown, and Imp hunt for tributes. Greasy Gary discovers a river. Beady Bye tries to spear fish with a trident. Larry tries to spear fish with a trident. Chain tries to sleep through the entire day. Skull collects fruit from a tree. Buried constructs a shack. Chat Reader sees smoke rise in the distance but decides not to investigate. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Command and Buried in German. Sophie looks at the night sky. Carlos, Eric, and Skull sleep in shifts. The Overmind lets Imp into his shelter. TJ receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Repeating, Jungle and Madame sleep in shifts. Jaden climbs a tree to rest. Clown, Buried, and Chain cheerfully sing songs together. Chris convinces Larry to snuggle with him. Beady Bye and Greasy Gary, Carl, and Neon tell ghost stories to lighten the moon. Murph is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Chat Reader cooks his food before putting his fire out. Buried overpowers Chain, killing him. Carlos, Jungle, Eric, Beady Bye, and the Overmind hunt for other tributes. Neon searches for firewood. Imp searches for firewood. Madame picks flowers. Clown, Skull, Carl, and Chat Reader raid Greasy Gary's camp. Larry goes hunting. Chris is pricked by thorns. Sophie receives a hatchet. I attack Murph, but Murph escapes. Jaden tries to sleep through the day, and Repeating injures himself. 1 cannon shot. Chain. Chris lets Skull into his shelter. Greasy Gary convinces Carlos to snuggle with him. Jungle receives a hatchet. Sophie starts a fire. Me and Jaden run each other, but decide to truce. Carl climbs a tree. Madame receives clean water. Murph, Beady Bye, and the Overmind sleep in shifts. Clown and Neon tell stories. Larry thinks about home. Chat Reader receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Eric defeats Repeating in a fight but spares his life. Imp dies of... I'm not going to try pronouncing that. Skull receives fresh food. Neon searches for firewood. Eric sprains his ankle running away from Carlos. Chris attempts to climb a tree but falls to his death. Me and Sophie work together. Murph diverts Repeating's attention and runs away. Chat Reader, Buried, Larry, Jungle, and Carl hunt for tributes. Jaden travels to higher ground. Beady Bye practices archery. Clown and Overmind split up. Madame dies from hypothermia. Greasy Gary receives a hatchet. 3 cannon shots. Imp, Chris, and Matt M. Sophie looks at the night sky. Eric kills Neon for his supplies. Carl loses sight of where he is. Skull tries to start a fire. Murph stays awake. Greasy Gary is unable to start fire. I think about winning because I am a gamer. Carlos bleeds out. He's a robot. I don't think he bleeds. Beady Bye goes to sleep. The Overmind convinces Chat Reader not to kill him, only to kill Chat Reader instead. Larry defeats Jungle in a fight but spares his life. Jaden tends to his wounds, and Clown, Buried, and Repeating cheerfully sing songs. Day 4. The Overmind injures himself. Beady Pie collects fruit from a tree. Jungle fishes. TJ, Sophie, Murph repeating it. Raid Eric's camp while he is hunting. Take that, Eric, you loser. Clown hunts for other tributes. Buried and Skull split up. Carl sprains his ankle running away from Greasy Gary, and Jaden diverts Larry's attention and runs away. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Neon, Carlos, and Chat Reader. Skull, Greasy Gary, Carl buried in the Overmind sleep in shifts. Repeating kills Jungle with his own weapon. Sophie tries to sing herself to sleep. Classic Sophie. Jaden cooks his food before putting his fire out. Larry convinces Beady Y to snuggle with him. Not a very good idea. He will set you on fire. Clown starts a fire. I try to sing myself to sleep. Murph tends to his wounds, and Eric thinks about home. Skull searches for a better water source. Jaden picks flowers. I divert Beady Y's attention and run away. Carl receives clean water. The Overmind questions his sanity. Clown tries to sleep through the entire day. Greasy Gary, Murph, Larry, and Eric raid Buried's camp while he's hunting. Repeating searches for a water source, and Sophie receives fresh food. 1 cannon shot. Jungle. Skull convinces Murph to snuggle with him. I receive medical supplies. Repeating eats toxic berries. Jaden, Overmind, Greasy Gary, Buried, and Clown sleep in shifts. Beady Y tends to his wounds. Larry quietly hums. Carl goes to sleep. Eric and Sophie sleep in shifts. Sophie fishes. Skull throws a knife into Clown's chest. He's just a clown. Jaden throws a knife into Greasy Gary's head. Cool. Beady Y travels to higher ground. Murph, the Overmind, and Buried hunt for other tributes. Eric tries to sleep through the entire day. Larry dies of that. Carl constructs a shack, and I make a slingshot. 4 cannon shots. Repeating, Clown, Greasy Gary, and Larry. Beady Y sets Eric on fire with a Molotov. Murph forces TJ to kill Carl or the Overmind. He decides to kill Carl. I killed Carl. Sophie's gonna hate that. Buried stays awake all night. Sophie cooks her food before putting her fire out. Jaden attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful, and Skull starts a fire. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Sophie decides not to go to the feast. Skull and Murph get into a fight over raw meat, but Skull gives up and runs away. Barry, TJ, and Jaden triumphantly get in a fight, and Jaden kills both of us. I thought I was going to win. The Overmind bashes Beady Y's head in with a mace. He's literally just ahead. Sophie tries to spear fish with a trident. Skull searches for Firebird. Murph and Jaden hunt for other tributes, and the Overmind dies from hypothermia. 6 cannon shots. Eric, Carl, Buried, me, Beady Y, and the Overmind. Jaden. Night 7. Jaden thinks about home. Sophie climbs a tree to rest. Murph pushes Skull off a cliff during a knife fight. Murph receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Jaden searches for a water source, and Sophie hunts for other tributes. Skull is the only one who died. Murph bleeds out, and Jaden kills Sophie, meaning Jaden will win the Hunger Games. The CatSMP Hunger Games winner is Jaden.